Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm dating coach Naz, and in today's video, I want to welcome you to the Dating Fix, which is a new series that I'm creating. And I want to share with you my clients' stories, the problems that they face, the solutions we come up with. So it just kind of gives you a pathway to understand how does coaching really work, and also the stories are going to inspire you eventually to get into the self-development space, because I feel like it is so key as men to figure out what is really the war that is going on inside of you, because a lot of us have these we are our own worst enemies for the most part. And so I really hope that this video or the series and my existence on this planet can inspire us to look within instead of looking externally and saying, why isn't this working out? It's because of the dating apps. It's because of the country I live in. No. Let's go back inside of us and find the answers, because that answer is always within you. Okay, that is the toughest pill it was a really tough pill for me to swallow, and I'm sure for most of us. So now let's get into one of my clients. So he has it's a bit of a story, but I'm going to get into it. So basically, he is a man who is in his early 40s. He has a successful business, a great guy. When you speak to him, he's really, good looking, funny, tall. Like, he has all of the, great attributes that a woman would, want in a man. And so one of his issues that he came to me with was that he felt like he always attracted women that were toxic and unhealthy. Okay. So now, by the way, this was something that I used to say all the time. I used to always attract toxic people. Now, one thing that I want for all of us to take away, if there's one thing from this video, well, actually, there's probably more, but one thing is that whenever you say I attract toxic people, it means that there is some sort of, or there's an element of toxicity within yourself. Okay, so a lot of the times we say, I'm just attracting these toxic people. Yeah, because you're also toxic. You need to, first of all, fathom that idea, which is a very difficult concept for most of us to understand. It was a difficult concept for me to fathom as well, to be honest. But after a lot of healing and self, reflection and truth, we are just lying to ourselves sometimes as men. And so I really want us to face our truth and be honest with ourselves, because a lot of the times we have friends, we have family that lie through their teeth, and they're not telling us what we actually need to hear. And that is why sometimes having a coach, someone who is not in your circle of friends, who just see your version of you, and they probably are not people that want to grow. And so they don't like it when you want to grow as well, because they feel it's familiar to them, right? Anyways, that's a whole different topic. But so let's get back to him. So he was somebody, so what did I say? Where was I? So he kept on attracting these toxic women. And one of his last relationships, he kind of had this, toxic relationship with this woman where she was, it's a little bit of a mixed up timeline, but I think she was in a relationship, but then she was still texting him, my client. And so they had this weird kind of like back and forth thing, and they tried to make things work, but something just it just wasn't aligning. It wasn't working. And he kind of saw her at the end. He was slowly starting to see who she was, right? She was somebody who tend to, she was very demanding. She was very selfish, and she was very hot and cold, right? So like one moment she's like all over him, the next moment she's with another guy. So that's a very toxic atmosphere that you do not want that sort of relationship ever. And even if the sex is great, you just do not want that relationship, okay? Because it's really going to damage your body. Even though we think we're not, we really are damaging our mind and body. Anyways, that's a whole different situation. That was what he was dealing with, okay? So the first thing that we actually attacked, because for me, as a coach, what I want to do is I don't like to go straight into, let's find somebody now. Like that is not what I do, at all, because that's what I learned through matchmaking, is that it's not about just matching people and going on dates and looking cute, which a majority of these dating shows online on, Netflix or whatever, they show this like very like, just have fun and have a drink and enjoy. But like, it's actually very, because I've been through a divorce, I think you look at love and dating in a very different light after you go through something really traumatic like that. And so for me now, it's a very, when I'm dealing with people, I know the stakes. The stakes are huge, because if you choose the wrong person, it can fuck you up. It really is not just damaging to yourself, but it's damaging to your children and to your money and, the freedom. Like there's so many things. And, once you get married to somebody, you can't just, and when you have kids, you can't just say, bye ex, bye toxic person. No, you're stuck with them for the rest of your freaking life. You have nowhere, like you can't leave the country. You can leave the country, but you can't really move away from them because you have children together. Okay. So as I mentioned, when people come to me and to talk about, love, dating, like my mind, I'm really high up, like not above you, but I go 10, 20 steps ahead of you. And a lot of the times when we're a little bit younger, we only look, like I want to get married and yeah, it's nice. Like I want to, because everybody's doing it. It looks really great. But there's something within us that we need to tap into to really ask our intuition, why do you want to be in a relationship with this person? What kind of value are they adding in your life? Or are you just with them because, you feel less lonely in life? And most probably, if you're with a toxic person, you're going to feel lonely regardless, but you're just going to feel a little less lonely, right? And so anyway, I don't even know if I told you guys, but so basically what I worked on with him is firstly getting out of this toxic dynamic, this back and forth thing with her. And I said, you gotta do a complete end of all of this, because a lot of the times, wow, 7 minutes and I haven't even, I feel like I haven't even started. A lot of the times when we break off a relationship, especially if it's a bit toxic, we have a little string that is attached, like an umbilical cord to that person, right? And so it is really important, and you don't have to be passive aggressive about it and like delete and block them and do all these like crazy things. I feel like you can do it in a nice way, in a respectful way, and just say, hey, now I'm, moving on, and like, I respect you and I care for you, but I got to move on. Like, you have to be respectful about it, because I can't, I'm not going to say I can't stand, but when you as a man, as soon as you break up with somebody, you suddenly block and you delete them. It's like a bit childish to me. It's like, that means you didn't truly, appreciate that person, because it was so easy for you to just cut off. Sorry, my liner is leaking. But what I meant to say by that, because I'm sure, I feel like I'm like hearing you guys think as I am saying what I'm saying, which is annoying. But basically what I mean is that, yes, you can, take your time. I mean, not take your time, but if you want to create a boundary and say, hey, you know what, we're not going to move forward with this. Like, I'm good with, I don't want to continue on in this relationship. But you could do it in a respectful way. Okay, that's what I wanted to say out of that. So, sorry, it's really hot in my house right now. Whew, I don't know why I'm so hot. I'm like sweating. Okay, so basically, what we did was we kind of, had to hold them accountable, because a lot of the times as men and women, but I'm talking to you guys, men, that's why I keep saying men, but as men, we tend to have a little window open up just in case. You never know. I don't want to leave it on bad terms. You just never know what could happen. It's like, that shouldn't be the case. I feel like when this person is in a, she's dating somebody else, and then she's coming to you, like, what does that tell you about this person? That means that, let me just make it easy for everybody. It means that when you get with this woman, that means that she will have no anxiety or no stress or no kind of awareness to be like, wait, let me look at that guy over there. Let me go over there as well. I don't know why people don't get this one point. Like, you lose people how, no, you don't lose. You get people how you, no, what was that? What does that quote? You lose people how you get them. That's what I wanted to say. Sorry. This is what happens when I'm doing a full video, free video. I mean, it is free. Okay. Anyways, so basically that's one thing that we had to deal with. And then secondly, my main thing, I'm always going to say it, before we get into dating, I need you as a man to be grounded, okay, in your values, in your morals, in your integrity, in your, your discipline, your boundaries, self-love. Like, we have to talk about so many different things before we even talk about a dating app. That's one thing. Sometimes men think like, dating apps is like, I don't give a shit about dating apps. I want to know about you. I want to know, how do you perceive yourself? Because everything in life has to do with you, right? And so that's one of the main things that we worked on, is grounding his energy. And the way we did that is through meditation, journaling. Also, we did a lot of nervous system regulation, because he was somebody who would get a lot of anxiety when he would, meet women. And so that was another thing that we had to work on. But the next thing that one of the other things that we had to work on as well was, actually, yeah, that was one of the other things, that he was emotionally unavailable. So we worked on this, and again, as I mentioned, we can have an awareness of what we need to work on, but the true work is consistency. It's not perfection. You don't have to be emotionally available straight away, right? Like, everybody is a work in progress, right? So it's just taking the next day, still doing that same behaviors, the next day doing a meditation, whatever it is, holding yourself accountable. What we tend to do sometimes is, we know what we need to do. We do it for 2 or 3 days, and then we're back into the same old pattern, same old toxic relationship. So the main key here is consistency. Okay. And luckily I was there to kind of hold him accountable and make sure that he actually follows through. And that is why I do offer my text and attract. So that is a subscription that I do offer, where basically you get messages from me, personalized messages, where I'm kind of there with you, helping you throughout the week, basically, with any issues that arise, messages that you're confused about, or why is this happening right now? I'm putting so much work into this woman and she's not committing back. What is really holding me back right now? So we kind of get into this through text. Anyways, that's something else that I offer, which a lot of men appreciate, because I feel like a coaching session is great, but sometimes you need that person, kind of like like a guide, to send you some messages to make sure that you actually follow through with what you wanted to commit to in the first place. That is one of the biggest things about coaching and human behavior that I learned, is like, you need somebody, reminding you of your goals. Like, hey, we need to go in this direction. Let's not go back to our old habits and patterns. And we did other stuff as well. I just, it's like, I feel like I can go on and on about this client, because there's so many different things that we kind of dealt with. But okay, let me go back into the emotional unavailability. So again, awareness is great, but taking action is what, he's something that he needs to consistently work on. And so it's like, people learn, you learn the knowledge, but then when I see some messages later on that you have sent to women, and I'm like, did we not just talk about this? Like, so anyway, so what happened was couple, I guess, weeks later, he actually had to do he went on a break because he was traveling for work or whatever, but he sent me a message of this woman that he kind of dated back in the day. And now he wanted to invite her to, I don't know, it was like what did he want to, I think it was like a trip that he wanted to invite her to. And that, by the way, is just, anyways, that's a whole different story, because I feel like whenever you're trying to get to know somebody, you should always do in little bits. You should ask them for a coffee or just a conversation. You don't have to ask them out on a trip and vacation. That's like, it's like not a good sign when you do that. But So anyway, so then he sent me the message over that he sent to this woman, and it was like a child talking to a woman. I'm like, what kind of messages are these? One of the main things with men when I talk about texting, and it's like, I'm a woman. So when I get a text from a man that wants me, that it wants to invest their time in me, I look at their message. Okay. And as women, I always tell you guys, we are like hawks. Like, we see everything. Okay. We're not like men. We're programmed very differently. So you need to understand that about women. So one thing that I always say with men is, like, always make sure your punctuation is great. And I get it. Some men might not agree with this, but I feel like you should have, like, speak in a way that is you can understand it. And I feel like when you're just jibber jabber. Anyway, so I saw the messages and I was like, in my head, I was like, this is not the way that you want to connect with women, And so he then admitted that he had a couple of drinks and he was at this game and he was drinking. And so the messages, and then he was laughing about it. And I'm like, this is not like, if you really want to find love and if you're serious about it, you're not going to be sending these silly messages, because they literally are showing that you're immature and you haven't done any work on yourself. And again, people will disagree and people have their own opinions, and that is okay, but that's just what I think. I feel like if you're ready to jump into really finding your true love, and ready to do the work, then you have to be ready to be honest with yourself, okay? And know that, hey, listen, I'm not really great at texting. Maybe I need to be better at texting, but it's not even about the punctuation or whatever. That's like literally not even in my head. That's just something that I wanted to bring up, but it was more to do with the way that he was going about it and being very, it almost felt like he was hooking up with her, kind of vibe. So, and he didn't want to do that. He really was interested in getting to know her. And I'm like, anyways, that's a whole another topic. I feel like, honestly, I wanted to make a 5-minute video. And I don't know, maybe, I'm sorry, guys. I just don't think that that's in me. I don't think I'm that person to do 5-minute videos. But anyways, there's a lot more to the story. Maybe I'll make like a part 2 or something more educational for you guys to learn, because I just was, I wanted to create a series just to kind of share with you what I see on a day-to-day basis. And so I really hope that this video did kind of give you some insights on what men are really struggling with. Maybe I'll make another video on like the solution of what men can do if you're somebody that attracts emotionally unavailable women and you're somebody who's not ready yet to do the work. We're going to get into that as well, because I feel like that is important, because that's what I see every single day. And so that's it. I'm going to end the video here. Again, please don't forget to like my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share this video with somebody who truly needs it and needs more inspiration. And so I really hope that this video helped. And I will see you guys in my next video.